So my name is Emma Godfrey. I'm going to be talking to you today about clear communication, but specifically around using acronyms and initialisms. There is a difference. I will tell you what it is. A little bit about me. It's pretty much how I live my life, pulling funny faces. I am a data protection officer and a skills coach for the Specialist Hub. Now, we are a training provider for the Data Protection and Information Governance Apprenticeship. Please come and talk to me about it. It's wicked. It's brilliant. Please come and talk to me. A couple of things about me. There is a sign above my office that says, "Don't take life too seriously. No one gets out alive anyway." Congratulations. Yes, thank you very much. I love rubber ducks. I can't explain this to you enough. I love rubber ducks. I love them. And in 2026, my partner and I will be getting married in Norway in a Viking ceremony without the human sacrifice. Maybe. Okay. So I'm going to start today with the difference between an acronym and an initialism, which I didn't realize before today. So, an acronym is the initial letters of other words which are pronounced as a separate word. For example, this one shocked me at the bottom. Never knew that. An initialism are the same letters, but that are pronounced separately. Oh, hang on. There we go. For example. Now, to save me time today, I'm going to combine them. And I'm going to combine them to that. You'll figure out why in a bit. And I'm going to focus today on 3 opinions or beliefs which I think make acronyms and initialisms, or AIs, popular and also are slightly dangerous in our daily lives, and that's this. They make us look knowledgeable and as if we know what we're doing. They save us time, and they help improve communication. Now, what I think these 3 things do is reinforce a perceived notion of expected understanding in our audience. We understand, so they must. So, to move on to our first point, I'm knowledgeable and I know what I'm doing. Okay. Question. How many people here have been sat in a meeting where the speaker has been throwing out all these lovely AIs and terminology? The meeting ends. And you go back.
Everyone goes home together.
Yeah. And I wish that's how it went. And then you go back to your desk and, like a Kermit the Frog meme, you frantically Google to try and work out what that meeting was about. I've done it. Thank you very much. Exactly. So, as an audience, AIs can really help us as employees to show an employer that we know what we're doing. I know the lingo, I know the terminology to be able to do the job that you're asking me to do, but they can also make you look very unapproachable. As an audience, we make an active decision based on a belief. I don't know what that means. I should know what that means. Therefore, I'm going to look bad at my job and that I'm not fit for my role. So as a member of staff, you make an active decision based on that belief. I should know what that means. Oh, look, I'm fit for my role. There's no way I'm going to ask. And this is where misinterpretation and misunderstandings can happen. Mistakes are made. Processes are not followed. Timeframes are not adhered to. Regulatory requirements are not adhered to. Fines, reputational damage, and so on and so forth. Zombie carrots, people. To the second point then, do they? Or do they save time simply because people aren't asking? It goes further than that, because if somebody is brave enough to put their hand up and ask you what that means, you then have to spend the time explaining what you should have explained in the first place. So you do the dog walking itself. That moment when the dog goes tearing off into the undergrowth, the reason for which only they know, look round and realise you're not there, and they come running back, asking you why you didn't understand the missing explanation in the first place, and then they do it again and again. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is the longest initialism in the world. It is 56 characters long, and this is what it means. Now, to make my point, my second point, I'm going to do a little role play with this, not with you. So, bear with me. I am shaking a little bit, so bear with me one moment. Right, I'm just going to put this down for a second. Good morning. You've reached the NIOMTPLABOPARMBET ZHELBETRABSBOMONIMONK, hang on, ONOTDETKHSTROMONT. We built the Academy of Building and Architecture of the USSR. So, my question to you, do they save time? Or does it come back to that perceived expectation of understanding? So, to the last point, they improve communication. Now, we will put aside the fact that I have been using a very well-known initialism for something very different. And we will focus on the fact that a lot of acronyms and initialisms have the same problem. They mean something very different to somebody different. And you don't have to go that far to find examples of this. This was said to me recently. Now, your mind may not have leaped to where mine went, or leapt to where mine went, but mine went there. Judge me as you wish. What they actually meant, which I probably could have guessed from the conversation we were having about data protection, was that. And it goes back to that, if AIs mean something different to me, but they mean something different to the person across the table, misunderstandings can happen, mistakes can be made, and so on and so forth. Zombie carrots, people. Now, my partner works for a motor insurance company. PI to him means personal injury, not personal information. In 2009, Iowa, in the US of A, changed its Department of Elder Affairs to the Department of Aging. Anyone want to tell me what DOA means? Anyone? Dead on arrival. Lovely. In the early 2000s, Microsoft was rumored to change the acronym of its critical... Yeah, you've already made this leap. However, some savvy individual mentioned that the tool was not capitalized, so somebody was just making up a naughty word. Who doesn't do that? And if you Google the World Wildlife Fund for Nature, you still get videos of wrestling. I have tried it. It is absolutely correct. We have all been in a situation where we have been misunderstood. And quite frankly, it is infuriating. And it goes back to that, if an AI means something to somebody different, misunderstandings are so easy to happen. Now, it's easy to find some of these things entertaining and funny and bask in the glory of improved communication and time management, which we seem to think they afford. But I'm going to end with showing you something a bit more serious and something which I think is important. Whilst researching AIs for this talk, I came across these. Now, I don't have children, and even I know that in the last 10 to 20 years, communication, specifically among young people, has changed dramatically. And as parents and guardians, we need to understand how they communicate, but specifically, the terminology that they use. We all like to think of acronyms and initialisms as useful and clever tools to help improve communication. But if we don't understand what they mean, misunderstandings could mean more than a process not followed. So as I come to the end of my bit, it has been very short, apologise for that, I really wanted to sort of thank you and say that we all like to be understood and we all like to understand. But you can't understand or be understood unless you have that clear and plain communication. Now, communication, particularly verbal communication, is a privilege, but it is not a privilege that is afforded to everyone. And without clear communication, misunderstandings increase instantly, and confidence decreases instantly. And as we have seen in the last slide, let's go back, lives could be at risk if we do not have that clear communication. So I implore you, as a human being that likes to understand and likes to be understood, to a room of individuals who I can only assume is the same, please use acronyms and initialisms and terminology wisely, because you never know who is trying to understand you and trying to do things right. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.